prepping for middle-aged people. So I'm going to define this between the ages of 35 and 55. I know it's a very loose number, but that's my range, and you can make your own range if you don't agree. But I would like to talk about the unique challenges and life process that these people are undergoing, and it typically is one of development still. I mean, we develop all through our life, but we don't really start to really know ourselves until we start getting into this middle-age phase, in my opinion. Especially when you're getting into your mid-30s and going to your 40s. I personally noticed when I did that, a time period of just kind of having those wow moments, like, wow, I'm aware of things a lot more. And I understand things just inherently so, that I didn't before. And so, basically when we talk about middle-aged people, they have typically the propensity to make more money and to have more money than the younger counterparts. So younger preppers have that challenge that they're always trying to build resources. The middle-aged people have already had the time to do at least some of that building. And they also have a lot more life experience, skills, and overall resources socially and, of course, economically. So they're better suited to deal with a bit more of the burden that prepping can entail in various fashions. And so the middle-aged prepper typically wants to upgrade their gear, refine their systems, enhance their planning, and build more comprehensive kits. That's really what I've seen, not only for myself, but through a lot of other people that are in their middle-age years. And so why is this? Because they want to grow further. They want to get to that next level, because really preparation is lifelong. They look for more redundancies as well, and they network with more people that are like-minded. Middle-aged people have the most variables of all the preppers, in my opinion, because there's so many things that could have happened up until that point. And when we talk about, prepping for seniors, which is the next video, we'll see that it settles down a bit for the average person of that age, but that's above 55 years old. Things typically settle down in their lives. And so for the middle-aged person, though, you could still be recovering from something that could have been like a divorce, or maybe you're not divorced, maybe you're married and you're trying to, raise these kids, and they're getting into their late teen years. And so there's a lot of that kind of thing going on. Maybe you're trying to help them with college or whatnot. The next thing would be the job aspect. Depending on the decisions you made earlier in life, you're going to really notice at this particular time in your life of how financially, well off you are. And even though finance is not always an indication of success, it typically is at least a byproduct. So do you have a good job, or does your job really doesn't meet up to your expectations? These are going to be some things you're going to have to kind of see if you can improve. And you can also kind of look as an indicator, are you still in your starter home? Or have you moved on to your dream home? Depending on that stage of that middle-aged person, that's typically when things happen. And I'm not saying that you need a big house and you need all this stuff. I'm just saying that sometimes people go and get what they really want in life at this particular stage. And then when they become a senior prepper, they pretty much try to maintain it and or downsize from there. Now, depending on these choices that you made, previously before this middle-age cycle, you're going to see if you're going to be a more advanced prepper or not, because did you learn those skills earlier on or not? Did you learn how to do various types of preparation types of activities? And so if you didn't learn it, then you need to learn it now. But a lot of these preppers that have been a prepper for a long time, when they get into middle age, they're proficient in pretty much all of those basic skills of prepping. And so we also need to look at their perspective, in terms of what does preparation mean to you, and what are the current life goals, because they're going to change from being younger to more middle age. And you'll have probably a more of an emphasis on quality again, and longevity of whatever you're doing. Is it going to matter, 5 or 10 years from now? So let's go down another list here real quick of different ideas I have for the middle-aged prepper, and it's about some recommendations. I would say continue to save money and or resources in general. This is something that you shouldn't stop just because you're middle-aged. You should definitely save resources when you're younger, and when you become middle-aged, you should continue on, and possibly even in the first half of when you're a senior prepper. You should continue to save as much as you can while you can. If you're able-bodied to do it, then do it. Also, continue to learn more skills and, of course, gain more experience. Continue to learn more knowledge as you go along as well. And in my opinion, at this stage, I see that not only would it be more like hands-on type of knowledge that you develop, but through books. I mean, really starting to get deeper into more specific, complex types of thought. And I think books and reading is going to be, for a lot of people, that avenue to access that type of experience. To dig deeper in being sustainable. This is something that I see a lot of middle-aged people trying to do. They're getting into like homesteading on some level. It could be the suburban homestead. It could be the more rural homestead. But there is a push to be more sustainable. I'm not totally sure why that is. I think it's just a natural progression of being a prepper. When you first start out, you're just trying to get your basic needs met, and then you go into gardening typically, and then you go into more of a full-blown homesteading if you can, and if you have the resources and time. That's just what I've seen. The next thing would be to challenge yourself to get out of old habits and to create more positive ones, to give you that opportunity to grow. And so habits are just really something else. If you don't get a real stranglehold on these bad elements in your life, they will take over and they will destroy you eventually. So please keep an eye on that. Identify the things that cause resistance in getting your goals met, and make, in my opinion, plans to overcome them, or at least create a whole strategy or a network of options to get around these obstacles. And so overall, of what I see in life is so many people, they don't even identify why they don't get things done. And if you can start to notice that and create that awareness, it's going to go a long way to being successful. Excuse all the Blue Jays. They're going crazy out here. The next would be to re-examine your life goals. Are you on track? That's a real big question, because so many people, they think that they're moving in the right direction, but they never really stop and see where they're at. It's almost like they're afraid to actually examine, to do like a small life review. And so, are you on track or not? Because this is going to really matter on what you do first in this life stage. Thanks for coming along and for listening to the video. Stay tuned for the next video, Prepping for Seniors. You guys take care.